All right, two keys to prospect conversion. So today we're going to be talking with Philip Hecker from Bento Engine, and we're going to be talking about the importance of data and personal advice when you are trying to convert those prospects. And the latest research from Kitsis says that the average cost for one new client is $3,119. So it is really important to make sure that you have a plan in place, a prospect process to make sure that you are converting those prospects into clients and kind of eliminating that cost to your bottom line and making that happen. So today we'll be covering everything prospecting for you. And like I said, I have Philip with us today. Philip
Hey,
Hecker is
Laura.
the CEO. Hi, Philip.
Great to see you
He
again. I
also,
look forward to this conversation.
yeah, same here. Philip is the CEO of Bento Engine. He is passionate about bringing better advice beyond investing to American families and using technology to make human advisors more human more often. He is a Procter & Gamble trained brand manager, recovering BCG consultant, and Wall Street veteran. He held several senior leadership positions at Deutsche Bank and JP Morgan, always focused on the wealth management side. So when Philip isn't leading the charge at Bento Engine, he's busy raising his 4 young children and chasing 2 dogs. So that's the best, is having those dogs in the picture. So Philip, tell me, I know I worked in the CRM world for, almost a decade before coming to PreciseFP. And oftentimes when I would be working one-on-one with offices, they would always kind of come to that conclusion of like, this information is in my CRM. Why isn't my CRM doing something with this information? Why isn't my CRM giving me notifications that this person is, eligible for a RMD, or they're turning 50 and I need to reach out about something? So tell me, how are you able to accomplish what you guys are doing at Bento Engine?
Hi, great question, Laura, and thank you for that kind introduction. We are, as Bento Engine, focused on bringing better advice that goes beyond investing to more American families via you, their caring financial advisors. And as you well know, when advisors do that work, everybody wins. Better client experiences and outcomes, and better organic business growth for the advisor. So leading with client-centric, life-centric advice during moments that matter on the life journeys of your clients and prospects is what we're all about. That just for context. Now, to answer your question, how do we do it? You were spot on in the opening part of your question. There is so much great data already in your CRM. You put it in there for regulatory compliance or other good reasons. Now let's make that wet data work for you and your clients. So what Bento Engine does is via APIs, we connect into your CRM, be it Wealthbox, Redtail, Practify, Accelerate, Salesforce Dynamics, and so on. In there, our algorithms constantly scan your entire book of business to identify upcoming advice opportunities, which are sometimes, but not always, birthday based. And when we find one, Laura, we not only alert the advisor, but we also give them compliance pre-approved content to execute with. We'll bring that to life as part of the demo. But the gist is so much great data already in your CRM. Let's make that work harder for you and your clients.
I love that, because I used to hate saying it, but eventually my kind of cookie cutter response was, it's a machine. It's not going to be able to tell you or do these things for you automatically. You have to do it. But it's great to know that technology is advanced. That's not the case anymore. We can definitely have Bento Engine give those automatic, timely suggestions.
Absolutely. What we're doing is bringing advisory expertise and practice management expertise into the CRM, making that dumb platform smart. Think of us almost as an Intel inside. And if I may, Nora, one more thing, perhaps for the more academic-y advisors, with us today, we think of the data value chain or flywheel in the following way. Data gets turned into information. Information gets turned into insight. Insights lead to recommendations. Recommendations lead to actions. And guess what actions do? They create new data. And so the merry-go-round continues. Our industry at large, from our perspective at least, is data rich, but information, insight, and action poor. So what Bento is doing is taking all that great data, mining it, thinking about it, and giving you insights and recommendations to engage your clients with.
I love that. And the content piece as well, because you don't really have, the time to make that complementary content to go well with those situations as well.
Exactly. We'll get to that as part of the demo. Content is key because it's the so what. Telling advisors of upcoming advice opportunities is necessary, but not sufficient. Next best action alerts is the buzzword in the industry right now. Advisors are busy. For them to truly execute on those advice opportunities, we feel it's important to give them everything they need on a silver platter to execute with. That massively increases adoption and execution on those advice opportunities.
Yes, I can't wait to hear more about that then. So the way today's going to be work is we're going to kind of go into PreciseFP and then we'll jump into Bento Engine, all with prospecting in mind, and kind of show you a seamless workflow of how to make sure you're offering that high level of customer service to your prospects. So first, what is PreciseFP? So in just simple facts, it's a data gathering platform. So oftentimes when I was working with the advisors in the CRM world as well, the biggest bottleneck is always getting the data inside of the system. It's always, making sure the data is clean, up to date, and, sometimes it takes a lot of time to go ahead and get that information into the system. So PreciseFP accomplishes and eliminates all of that data entry. You're going to go ahead and just send over a link to your prospects and clients, and they're going to fill out their own information. So that way the information is clean, and that information goes right into creating a profile and sending that information off to the races into your CRM or your financial planning software and other softwares as well. So most people use PreciseFP as almost like a service agreement solution. It could be a source to deliver documents, whether that's the form CRS, your disclosures. You could provide document downloads and e-signatures, so that way everything is IP, date, and time stamped. So it's also a way to go ahead and share documents as well. So if you wanted to turn back around and share that content from Bento Engine being created, you can send that through PreciseFP as well. So in 2023, we're very proud of these numbers. We've saved offices more than $5 million in practice management dollars, 33,000 plus hours saved. So that way you're not going back and asking your clients, where's the signature, where's your address, what's your child's name. You could spend, especially those prospect meetings, getting to the meat and potatoes of the conversation, rather than, who's your employer, what are your goals. You can actually have all of that information prepared. So today what we hope to talk about is probably one of the most underutilized tools in PreciseFP. It's going to be called the web publisher. So really quickly, if you are a PreciseFP user, let me know in the chat right now if you use the web publisher. I think it's one of the most underutilized tools, but one of the best tools that we have in the system. And I know I'm a visual person, so sometimes when you hear this jargon of like web publisher, you're like, what does that exactly mean? So I have a tab open right here of, our financial advisor website. And in this website, we have, if I scroll down, a button here that says schedule. So your prospects can find your web page, especially, if you're busy posting on LinkedIn. Sometimes it could take someone reading your content for like 6 months before they actually agree to, get in conversation with services for you, about services with you. So if they go to your website and they're like, hey, I want to schedule right now, it's the middle of the night, they're interested, they can click that schedule button and it'll open up this form. So this is what I'm talking about when I say web publisher. So web publisher are fields on your website that your prospects or even clients can fill out. And then all of that data will automatically create a profile for you inside of PreciseFP. So really, really nice there. So in order to do this, what you're going to want to do is it's a 3-step process inside of PreciseFP. So you should be able to see my PreciseFP database right now. When you log in, you're going to see this initial dashboard page. And like I said, doing the web publisher aspect is a 3-step process, and we're more than happy to help you with this off of this webinar. But you create your form that you would want to see on your website. Then you add it to the web publisher tab, and then you go ahead and copy and paste that code into your website. So first thing you want to do is create that form. If I click on templates here on the left, I'll go ahead and choose my templates. I have one that I started here called prospect form for website, but if you're starting from scratch, you would just click on this plus sign in the top right hand corner. If I click on that prospect form for my website, I can choose customize, and you'll notice this is kind of mimicking what you saw on this schedule form. So I asked the best times to contact them and their email and phone number. And with Bento Engine, you're also going to want to get their date of birth as well. So you might consider adding in that field for date of birth. I'll go ahead and kind of minimize these fields a little so I can add in another field here. And then you can go ahead and add in a date field for date of birth. So you're going to want to make sure you have that field in there because, like Philip mentioned, a lot of the kind of insights that you're going to get are going to be date of birth based. So this is what you would want to do first, is create this form exactly the way you would want to see it, what fields you would want to go ahead and gather. And you can even make this field mandatory. So that means they cannot submit this form until they fill out this field. So really adds a lot of value. And then this thank you page is what they would see when they hit submit. So you would want to customize this as well. You would want to, add your text, make it big and small, check for capitalization, punctuation, all of that, because once you go to the next step, you're going to have this on your website. So
Hey,
right
Nora,
from this,
can I
oh
jump in there for a
yes.
second? I think this is so great because many times we see advisors struggle on the prospecting front because they oftentimes don't really know or understand their prospects. When they have that type of data in place, everybody wins. The level of your advice, the level of your marketing will only go one direction, and that is meaningfully up. So kudos to you and the PreciseFP team. That flexibility to capture the right data already early in the marketing funnel is very, very powerful and important.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, how many forms are not in good order because we forgot to get their driver's license number? those are fields you can send over to your clients or your prospects and make them mandatory. So that way later in the process, you're not halted because, this form's not going to submit and open a new account successfully. All right, so I'm going to click on Web Published here on the left. You've probably never clicked on this button here if you do not use this Web Publisher tool. So you're going to have this initial, training on it. But I'm going to click on that plus sign in the top right-hand corner and choose that form that I just created. So this is the second step, is you're going to go ahead and create the code to web publish it. Now, the most popular option here is going to be iframe, which means to embed it in your website. So if we go back here to this tab, this is what embedded means. It's going to be right here in the website for them to fill out. So you'll click on that. You'll save the changes here on what you want to see, and then you'll notice this code is automatically created. So like I said, you would just copy and paste this and put it into your website code, and then you would have that form available for you. So I have this on my website already, like I showed you, and I've been regularly posting on LinkedIn, trying to get more prospects, and turns out that when I logged in the next morning, I had an alert saying a new prospect did come into my system. So if I go to the accounts here, I'm going to choose on this prospects tab, and I have this new prospect here named Janet Smith. So if I click on Janet Smith, I can go ahead and choose to see her profile, and minimal data here, but it's definitely more than a first and last name for me to work with. And if I go down, I can even see she put in her child, Susie. So we have that information from my website that she filled out, pushed into PreciseFP, automatically creating a profile. And then from here, we can go ahead and choose export. So we don't have a direct integration with Bento Engine, but the CRM is going to be our middleman. So you're going to gather your data, push it to the CRM, and then from there, Bento Engine is going to automatically create everything for you. So if you click export, right now I just have Wealthbox turned on, but we have a ton of integrations, so that way you can pick and choose what you want to set, where you want to send this information. But I'll go ahead and choose Wealthbox, and I can export her here. So that'll take all of the information that was filled out and push her into Wealthbox. And we even have a template here for Wealthbox in our form library. So if I go to our form library, I can view our fact finders and see a Wealthbox fact finder here. So this is really helpful because if I go to this tab here, this is going to show all of the fields that go from PreciseFP into Wealthbox. So you're going to want to make sure you're gathering as much data as possible to push that good, clean data right into Wealthbox. But I'll go ahead and stop sharing here and pass it over to Philip so he can show us what Bento Engine will then do with that information, and then we'll close up as well. So we'll go ahead and share the PowerPoint. Right now we see the PowerPoint called What is Bento Engine? And
I
we'll
appreciate
learn
that,
about
Laura.
Bento Engine.
And as I take over here as a bridge, from my perspective, again, super powerful how you're putting advisors in a position to systematically capture important data from all of their prospects in efficient and effective ways. And then, as you alluded to, you push that data into the CRM. Why that matters, I'll bring to life in a second. So by way of opening comments, as I alluded to earlier, think of Bento Engine as a combination of technology and content. Technology to surface for you next best action alerts, your next best advice opportunity with that particular client or prospect. And then we combine that with the content that you need to execute with. We are focused on moments that matter in the life journeys of your clients and prospects. What those are, I'll bring to life. In the US, and the CFP types amongst you will know this, there are 15 age-based milestones that really matter in wealth management because they trigger distinct risks or opportunities. 10 of these age-based milestones on the right pertain to retirement. 5 on the left pertain to the coming of age of the next generation of the client family that you, as thoughtful advisors, want to connect with in early and constructive ways. We also have a life events program, which, as the name implies, focuses on getting married, divorced, having a child, moving to Florida, buying a business, or selling a home. So when you overlay the 15 age-based milestones on top and dozens of life events at the bottom, you can see how all along the client lifecycle, Bento Engine provides dozens of opportunities for advisors to engage and serve their client family. And by the way, we don't only focus on G1, we also focus on Gs 2 and 3. So in the top left of this page, we have a dedicated Children and Wealth program, which enables you to assist your client and prospect families with financial topics as the next generation matures. In that program, every 2 years, starting at the tender age of 4, as the child matures, you as the advisor get an alert and a package of age-appropriate guidance, information, and activities to share with your client family. So you get it, 3 content programs that collectively cover the entire life cycle of the client. How does Bento work in a nutshell before I jump over into the Wealthbox CRM? You as advisors continue to work in whatever CRM that you're using today. We integrate seamlessly into these 7 fine systems listed here. No new login, no new system to learn, no new app on your workstation. You probably have too many already. What we do is via APIs connect into the backend of your CRM. There, our advice engine, our algorithms constantly scan your entire book of business to identify upcoming advice opportunities. When we find one, we pull the right content from our proprietary purpose-built content library, and then at the right point in time, very proactively, we alert you back in the CRM and we equip you with multi-format materials to execute with. And with that, let me pop over into a in-tool demo and let's continue with the Smith family that Nora brought to life when it comes to prospect data gathering. Can you all see a wealth box building up?
Yep, I see wealth blocks, and I think that's awesome because I always say I do not envy the life of an advisor because you know that their website tab has like 50 tabs open. You have your financial planning software, your CRM, your email, your calendar, so Bento not needing that tab is beautiful.
Excellent indeed. We live and breathe in the CRM. We make that key system work even harder for you and your clients. Nora, you are our sample advisor. You did all the great work getting prospect information into your CRM using PreciseFP. It's now Monday morning, the week after your 3rd cup of coffee, you fire up your CRM. And given that you're half organized, Nora, you'll probably go to your task list, your to-dos for the day. As you can see here, some of the tasks have nothing to do with Bento Engine, everything to do with your regular course of business. But you also see these Bento alerts, which indeed were pushed by Bento into your CRM overnight. If you simply do not want to advise Harriet on age 62 Social Security benefit strategy, if you've done that already or it's not appropriate, no big deal. You simply delete the task and move on with your day. If, however, catch-up contributions for Janet Smith catches your eye, Janet is that prospect of yours, you've gotten the data into the system, And now Janet is about to turn 50, so you have a wonderful opportunity to lead with advice and differentiate your practice and to demonstrate your value add. If you want to do that, you simply click on the alert and this standard alert structure pops up for you. The structure is always the same. Hey, Nora, your prospect Janet is about to turn 50 in 6 months' time. Now is a good time to reach out with advice on how to make catch-up contributions. And then we give you multiple formats of materials to execute with. So if you believe that your prospect is a visual learner, if you believe that Janet belongs to the 60% of Americans who benefit from looking at a well-structured PowerPoint or PDF page, then you would follow link number 4 and access the PDF or PowerPoint version of the advice. Nora, did a PDF pop up for you?
Yep, I see the PDF right here.
Wonderful. The materials are always short and sweet, a page or two, always covering the what, the why, and the how. What are catch-up contributions? Why bother? What's the economic benefit of getting this right? Another way to think about it, Nora, what is the demonstrable value add that you as the advisor bring to the table by leaning in on this topic at this point in time? You are demonstrating with your advice the value that you can create for your clients to this particular prospect, which will be differentiating and put you in good stead. Last but not least, we do the how, the action steps, how to actually implement. On the visual materials, we always keep everybody safe, disclaimers, quality further reading, the underlying code, current, as of. To preempt a potential question, yes, for our larger partner firms, we can white label and brand the materials in your look and feel. Guess what? Not everybody is a visual learner. Some of your clients and prospects hate looking at PowerPoint pages. They want to have a conversation instead. In that case, you would follow link number 2 and access the talking points version of the advice, which frame the conversation and then spoon feed to you, the advisor, the key messages to relay in a impactful dialogue on the topic at hand. If you want to get things going with your prospect via email, if Janet is, the constantly on the go type, we've got you covered. All you would do here in red is customize the intro and the outro. Last but not least, Nora, if it's been a while since you last advised on making catch-up contributions, if you need a refresher yourself, in that case, you would follow this link to the internal use only advisor FAQs. Think of these as a cheat sheet for the back pocket of the advisor. Again, organized around the what, the why, the how, 10 pages or so, our most technical documents. And if your eyes are very good, it's presented in a simple FAQ style. And here, our subject matter experts always cite the underlying US text code so that everybody can backtrace what the advice is actually based on. Before I pause and invite reactions, questions, thoughts, I have a few more comments. Number 1, I hope you concur deep bi-directional integration into the CRM, making that key platform work even harder for you. As Nora pointed out, we're directly capturing here and utilizing the great data that you created by using PreciseFP for your prospects. And by the way, if your eyes are very sharp here, not only do we have an advice opportunity for Janet, we also have one for her daughter, Susie. Susie happens to be 13, turning 14 soon, and they live in a state where kids can legally start earning income if they get the working papers. And how to get the working papers and how to then put the legally earned income into custodial IRA accounts under the kid's name is materials that we're sharing for age 14 for the daughter as well. Last comment here I would make before I pause is laws and regulations change all the time. And when they do, we quickly update our materials so that our clients can serve their clients always with the latest and greatest. And with that, Nora, I'm going for now to stop sharing the screen, and I'm going to hand control back over to you.
There we go. Perfect. Yeah, I think that's awesome because, you're going to be able to give those prospects, especially kind of those warm fuzzies inside where it's like, I'm not just reaching out about these contributions, but I'm showing you graphically what this advice is going to mean to you in the future. And the fact that you're including the daughter as well is very helpful as well.
Good advisors serve not only the primary account holder, but the entire household and client family. And again, in the life journeys of those family members, there are dozens of opportunities to lead with advice and differentiate yourself.
Yep, exactly. That's very true. And I don't know how much you've seen the numbers change, in being in the industry, but research is saying that you need to engage with your clients like 12 times a year, is what the research is saying. So having that content prepared or those life events handy to make those 12 interactions a year with each client is really helpful as well.
Nora, let me amplify that. You're spot on. Client engagement, prospect engagement matters. And both quantity and quality drive success. Quantity, you're right, 7, 10, 12, 15 times a year is best practice. But quality matters too. Don't think that updating them on IBM because IBM dropped 2% is, at the same level as advising on the kids turning 14 and what to best do. The nature of the advice matters greatly. So what we're doing as Bento Engine is provide quality engagement opportunities that oftentimes go beyond markets, products, security selection, and create trust and goodwill that build your relationship.
I love it. All right, and we have some great questions that came in. Al is asking, besides talking points, PowerPoints, etc., are there any video, audio content that we can share with clients?
From a Bento Engine perspective?
Yep.
Absolutely, great question. Love it. So we're multi-format already. We hope to build that out over time, including video, text messaging, and other modes of communication. But that will take a day or two, I'll be honest. In the meantime, we see many of our partner firms take our content and repackage that, reuse that in creative ways. We've seen people do webinars or evening seminars on our content. We've seen people synthesize some of our content into social media posts. And we are very, very supportive of that. Leading with advice benefits everybody. So if you want to use our materials in appropriate ways to do good in this world, positively impact clients and prospects, and drive your business, we're super supportive.
Great. So yeah, you definitely, when you're posting on social media, trying to pull those prospects in, you want to speak to their pain points, and making those age-based recommendations are gonna speak to those pain points and can definitely hit somebody when they're ready to receive it. All right. I have another great question saying, how long does it take to integrate Bento Engine into my CRM?
Ha! Great question. Short answer is it depends on your CRM. I'll be very transparent. If you use Wealthbox, Redtail, one of those solutions, their APIs, their interfaces are so modern and open that we've gotten it down to a 20-minute process. So tech integration is a very light lift done very quickly with systems such as Redtail and Wealthbox. And you can even do that yourself if you so choose. On our website, there is a Install Now button, which takes you on a self-directed journey to connect the systems right away. If you want assistance, hand-holding, we can do that too, of course. Just ping us. I'll be honest, if you use Salesforce, Dynamics, some of these more enterprise CRM systems, the total tech lift is about 3 to 4 hours, and we have to do it together. But in any event, tech integration is a light lift, in particular if you use Redtail or Wealthbox.
That's true, and most of the industry is, so that is really helpful. I have a few different people like Ross asking, in their honest opinion, prospective clients don't really want to enter in their date of birth. So how do you address that issue?
Look, both of our firms have experience with that, right? You PreciseFP via your tools, how to push the envelope, how to frame things are part of your solution as well. From our end, I hear the pushback, I understand. But oftentimes I find it's advisors negotiating against themselves by not even trying. And by the way, if they don't give you the precise date yet, at least ask for the year that you can base a lot of good work and perspectives on already.
Yeah, that's true. And everyone's information is online. Maybe you could even do some stalking on Facebook and just kidding. You see how old they are too. Like, how'd they know I was turning 50? No, that's very true. You want to just work in digestible chunks, I think, is probably the best way to do it. Sometimes for those prospects, all you have is a first and last name to begin with, but you just definitely build from there. And with PreciseFP, you can slim things down or you can add things on. So if you pull up that wealth box form and you're like, yeah, right, no one's gonna fill this, all these fields out right now, slim it down. If you know this person doesn't have children, take the children part out. You want to make it as easy as possible, make the context as appropriate as possible, so that way everything kind of is easier on their end. And I have Ian asking, how smooth is the integration with HubSpot?
I'm glad to report, Ian, that we recently onboarded HubSpot and have multiple HubSpot-based users on the Bento platform already. And likewise, HubSpot is a very modern OpenAI API-based system. It is a quick, simple process as well. And interestingly, we see more and more marketing-oriented, growth-oriented advisors use the HubSpot platform.
That's true. Yeah, it is. You hear it once, and then you're like, wow, I'm hearing it all the time now. And Kevin's asking, are we able to customize life events? So maybe ask different questions that maybe advisors are coming up with on the spot.
Couple of comments there. On the live events side, we have 12 oftentimes occurring live events up and running in the system already. And for each of those 12 events, getting married, divorced, buying a home, moving to Florida, all that jazz, we have multiple formats materials baked in the CRM, much like the HBase program that I brought to life. We are adding to the library as we walk along, and we're happy for suggestions. If you have hot button, topics you would like us to work on and include, we can add those to the roadmap. And then the last comment I would have is the system is flexible by design, meaning you can have all 12 alert types if you so choose, or only a subset. And if you want to add specific ones for your practice with your content, if you want to do your practice specific add-ons, talk to us. We can think that through and support you on that as well.
Awesome. And Ross added, perhaps ask their age, not their date of birth. So that's great as well.
That gets to the year dimension, which many people are quicker to sharing. Spot on. Appreciate it.
Yes. And a few people are leaning right into what we're going to talk about next. How much is Bento? So we are offering some exclusive discounts for attending this webinar. So you can use these promo codes to go ahead and get discounts on PreciseFP or Bento Engine as well.
Yeah, on the pricing front, great question. Appreciate where you're going. It's all on the website. There's a pricing, tab on the website. It depends on the number of seats that you buy. And by the way, we only charge for the lead advisor seat that the names are coded in the CRM. Whatever your support structure might be, analyst, sales assistant, junior advisor, we empower those for free. It depends on the number of seats that you buy and the number of content programs you buy. It's very accessible pricing, even for small firms with few seats. Think, roughly speaking, $1,500 per seat per year.
Great, great. And I have Ian asking, does the system pick up on estate planning or tax planning events or issues?
Not yet. Product-based triggers, picking up on mortgages rolling off, annuities ending. There are multiple product-related, triggers and signals that over time will add. For the time being, we're laser focused on life events in the lives of the clients.
Yes, but a lot of direction that Bento Engine can go and continue to add value to offices, because I definitely know, estate planning has become a big buzzword. Clients are wanting more of it, so having content to complement it would be great as well.
Bingo. And real quick, back to the pricing to bring to life what you have on the page there. If you sign up with Bento by Feb 15, we're happy to give you a 15% special discount if you use PreciseFP already. And that discount is in perpetuity on the entire solution, so it's very, very generous. The code for that is PreciseFP15.
Yes, exactly. Definitely write down these codes, and you can reach out to our chat as well, and we're happy to help with that as well. But otherwise, thank you everyone for joining us. We had a great conversation today. We hope that these tools kind of got you thinking and could add value to your office. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for coming. Philip, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to speak to everyone soon.
2 keys to success: clean data, actionable advice, the combination of PreciseFP and Bento, bringing that to life, being connected by your CRM, which is the hub of your tech stack. Nora, thank you for having us. Wonderful to chat with you as always.
I love it. Exactly. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.